In my opinion, to get the most out of it, you would have a spirit guide and you would start expelling those thoughts while that crafty spirit guide is forming the barriers, the walls, the shield of what's bothering you. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip, some core power nipple attachment. ASMR spritz. Intelligent neon. There are your noises. All right. I'm going to do some more spiritual biohacking. Max-tism. Hopefully Andrew made my tism edit pretty good. I don't know. I'm going to be talking about MJ. I can't say it because every word I say is tracked by Big Brother. What does Snoop Dogg do all day? What does Wiz Khalifa do all day? They use a certain plant that on YouTube, every time I talk about it, I get dinged. So that plant, Andrew, it's legal in certain states. It's becoming more widely available. I don't understand why I can do alcohol and leak my spirit out, but MJ is bad. I feel like we know what I'm talking about. MJ is a pretty significant, if not extremely significant, psychedelic compound. THC being the primary thing, but there's CBG, CBD, there's tons of shit going on with MJ, but we'll focus on the mostly the most psychoactive component of it. I'll say it like that, right? Because I have done injectable CBD and I got fucked up on that. I have done CBG. I've got fucked up on that. However, we'll talk about THC and acoustics, and or if you're trying to expand your consciousness, you're trying to elevate your consciousness or lower your consciousness. Remember, a tree has the leaves up top and the roots on the bottom. If you want the full autism spectrum, you got to float around, explore yourself. And to think you're not in constant need of evolution of your mind is dumb. You should always be trying to expand your mind, level up your mind, move your mind around, explore different paradigms, different angles from all sides. MJ is the safest psychedelic, I'll say that in extreme quotation marks, out of the ones that I've personally done. And I've done an analog of DMT. I've done acid. I've done snow caps. Those were intense, Andrew. Those snow caps. Oof. MJ, I enjoy with my bipolar, right? It helps me perform alchemy, aka alchemy just means I bend an emotion. I would think of emotions as simple frequencies, and some frequencies are associated with two different emotions. Love and hatred, same fucking thing. It's a paradigm. It's a paradigm of how you perceive love. That's why the saying, love is pain, holds true. Back to MJ. MJ is going to help you build your ego if you use it correctly. However, it can ruin your life. It can cause schizophrenia. It can cause you to lose all motivation to do anything. And Andrew, behind the camera, does not like MJ. Okay? There are a ton of people who despise MJ, and Mr. Stay High all the time over here completely agrees with that paradigm, that angle. I'm not here to be like, this is Russo's paradigm. You must be a bot for me and think the way I think. I'm encouraging free open mind thinking here. MJ is going to bring you most likely lower. However, if you get into the strains of MJ and you're looking to start into MJ, I would go with sativa first. Sativa is a eye high. Sativa is a crown high. Sativa for me doesn't calm me down. If you are a creative, you could do a micro hit of sativa and get a lot done. If you are a creative, you could rake some sativa, go to an art museum, and maybe that light bulb pops up of a creative thought you would not have without it. And then that turns into a manifestation of something else that started from you elevating that consciousness to pull that thought. However, I feel like with acoustics especially, the ego shield is the most critical. Russo has an egomania. He knows who the fuck he is. Even down in the dumps, he's hard to the core. hard to the core. And that's what I encourage you all to be. There's nothing like getting ripped at, especially as an acoustic, and having your vibe yanked by some piece of shit asshole NPC with a calcified pine cone and then being wrecked for the rest of the day. This MJ exploration may or may not help you build a better shield where you rapidly fire spelling in your head to pull the vibe back from the douche who's an NPC. This is where I think MJ is important. I will say there's a risk of MJ, especially when I get into indica, which is my favorite. Sativa is going to be mild. It's going to be an eye high. If you want a good sativa strain, I don't even know if you can get it, but my favorite strain of sativa, Andrew, is Bruce Banner. I love that strain. I always feel uplifted, positive. It's a consistent strain. It's a consistent regulation of frequency. There are hybridizations of MJ, which has you wavy. There's gelato. It has you crazy. We're just going to work with, sativas, an introduction of a micro hit. You're going to take the tism, dump on the aura, but you should be using the sativa to pull a thought in a creative headspace. When we go to the ego shield, that's where I'm more targeting the spiritual biohacking towards. You would want to expect and or have an individual as a spirit guide, in my opinion, unless you're good like me, like Russo, but I was not. I had a very talented spirit guide, and he would help me as I did these spiritual journeys with multiple different substances. And in my opinion, it should be fucking mandatory, because one wrong weed trip, as Andrew knows, goes south for a long time after. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that. It's happened to me. I've done edibles by myself, fucked up for a week and a half until I'm like calculating myself back up like the Aquarius quantum computer, right? There are people that don't recover. However, if you have a spirit guide and you are exerting as you go lower what is truly bothering you, Joe Rogan labels it going to the basement. What's in the basement? What is in the basement bothering you that's dragging you down? Well, when you do indica, you're walking down there and you're facing those demons. You're facing those issues and you're going to work through it, and you're going to build the spelling within your head that it defeats. And then you're going to build your shield, and maybe even your shadow visits you. Maybe your shadow persona visits you. Like when I do indica and I'm working through something that's bothering me, or I have paranoia. MJ amplifies paranoia. That's why a lot of people don't do MJ. MJ is going to cause paranoia. This is going to bring you lower. This is going to present those thoughts that are bothering you. In my opinion, to get the most out of it, you would have a spirit guide and you would start expelling those thoughts while that crafty spirit guide is forming the barriers, the walls, the shield of what's bothering you. So if that bothers you again, you go to your spirit guide's words, boom, 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 boom. You're back out of it. Over time, as you get more experienced, maybe you become like Russo and you use it as, Andrew, throw it up, a hedonic treadmill. I get to Saturday, I blaze, and I go, what bothered me this week? Why did it bother me? Okay, it shouldn't bother me because this. I can't control these variables. Why am I even fixated if I can't control everything? I need to work through this next week. Next time I arrive at this indica pit stop where I dust my fucking energy off, this needs fixed and I'll have new problems on my plate. And that's how I like to work through it. If you want to get into this, I definitely recommend a spirit guide where you're expelling. You're expelling what's wrong. You're having someone completely fucking sober help you spell through it. What I wouldn't do with MJ, this is spiritual biohacking for high performance, meaning if you did MJ in that fashion, you would have an ego that would be able to deflect internally. As someone bullied you or raped you, you would already be dispelling it in your head as it's arriving because you have so much experience with the indica dragging you way artificially lower. And then after the indica drags you lower, you're stuck lower and you must stay high all the time and push high up. It's like a weight. It's like pushing against it, right? You're getting dragged down by the weed, go back up. Getting dragged back down the way, going back up. That's how you should look at it as a performance enhancing tool. MJ, most people eat a fuck ton of food. They watch a movie on it. They go do dumb shit on it. That is not what I'm getting about. It's a tool. It's a tool. These psychedelics have been used for a long time by shamans. Okay? And normally the shaman takes all the spiritual damage because alchemy must be performed to get back to base state. I do encourage A little bit of dabbling with MJ in this sense of having someone sober, expelling it, knowing you're going to be yanked downwards, and then working your way back up to where you were, yanked downwards. As you do that over time and time again, it's easy. It's easy. Then you realize why Joe Rogan's addicted to it. You realize why Joe Rogan uses that as his shield. You realize how Joe Rogan can take so much criticism and still be fine because he's constantly being cooked. He's like, all right, I'll just go to the basement. All right, I'm working out the problem. What's the problem with me spiritually? I'm way down here. Holy shit. I feel like, oh, okay, I work through it. Weed ends. Oh, I'm stuck down here. Now I got to spell my way back up. Now I got to exercise to get back up. That's the way it's done. I do recommend if you're just getting into it, start with sativa. Have someone present that's a spirit guide that loves you unconditionally, that is going to spell you through it, and then work through it like once or twice a week. I guarantee you'll have a bigger justified ego of like when someone comes up to you and starts raking you for no reason, you're in your head, boom, 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 boom. Oh, he's like this because he's projecting this onto me. That's why he's saying this. I feel bad for him. I forgive him, but I'm not going to deal with this, right? I'm not even going to just boop, hits off the shield. That's how I build it. And that's how I'm building it back right now. I'll see you guys in my next video.